My name is Walter Benaziac. For months, I was trapped in the evil Dino Rob's Dino Dimension, a place where I was duplicated dozens of times. Eventually, I managed to escape, but now, Dino Rob is sending his army to take me back. With the help of my friends, we fight them off and hope to ultimately take down this deranged dinosaur. The more we count down, the weaker he gets. This is Top 5.
What?
I said we brought you here today because we're your friends and we're concerned about your well-being.
Thanks, but my birthday's not till May.
The dummy!
Oh, you mean Walter 2.0.
Walter, using language like that is hurtful, and this is a safe space. Now, Aiyanna, why do you feel like you need Walter here?
Wow! Rude! Walter is sitting right there! This is Walter 2.0. I just thought it'd be fun to bring it back since we're doing another comic-themed episode.
Thank God!
I'm sorry, what was that, Walter 2.0?
Yep. Sounds about right.
Here are the top 5 best DC movies.
Number 5. Batman Begins. I talked about how much this film means to me in my top 5 best Christopher Nolan movies video, and I have no problem singing its praises again. Bruce Wayne travels the world, searching for the means to fight injustice. Eventually, Henry Ducard and the League of Shadows find him and teach him their ways. Bruce relents when he sees that the League's extreme teachings don't match up with his own moral code. When the still-determined orphan billionaire returns to Gotham, things start falling into place for the birth of the Batman. This movie obviously paved the way for its massively successful sequel, but Batman Begins deserves a lot of credit for turning things around for this character and, in a larger sense, comic book films in general. It set a tone that many movies and TV shows tried to match for years to come. Gotham, reimagined as an almost realistic city with very distinct areas like the Narrows, created a relatable world for our hero and his catalog of supporting characters to inhabit. The atmosphere established here is a big reason why it fits into the top 5. After destroying the franchise in 97's Batman and Robin, Batman Begins needed to be a success while taking Batman to a much different place from the last time we saw him on the big screen. It accomplished that, and much more. While I love Michael Keaton, Christian Bale is still my favorite live-action Batman actor. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I was ecstatic to see more layers to this character than had ever been explored in any big-screen film before this, with maybe the exception of Mask of the Phantasm. Bale plays up Bruce's facade as a reckless playboy and nails Batman. The voice is fine here, it gets way more ridiculous in the next film. He also shows us the vulnerable man beneath it all in some fantastic scenes with Michael Caine's Alfred and Katie Holmes' Rachel Dawes.
Number 4. Batman Returns. Oh look! Batman returns to our countdown. Energy tycoon Max Schreck assists Gotham outlier Oswald Cobblepot to gain political power and drag Batman's good name through the sewers. Unfortunately, Schreck also had a hand in his secretary's downfall, and she's got a bone to pick with her employer. Now Batman must face these new foes while keeping his name clean and true identity a secret. Where others have struggled to do justice to classic comic lawbreakers, this film managed to pull off 2 solid villain origins. From the grotesque drooling to his little grunts and groans, Danny DeVito's performance is startling in this. Film can be such a 2-dimensional experience, but thanks to the brilliant work of the production design, I swear you can almost smell the actual penguins swimming alongside his rubber ducky paddleboat. Michelle Pfeiffer captured Selena Kyle's duality with aplomb. They blended her dark side really well with quippy punchlines and made us empathize with her dilemma between revenge and happiness. Sure, there's occasionally cheesy dialogue, but this film hits in all the right places. Amazing soundtrack, top-notch costumes, incredible casting, and some classic bad guy action. Even a lot of the practical effects have held up surprisingly well. I'm also a sucker for a well-timed one-liner.
I haven't been fed all day.
Eat floor.
High fiber.
Number 3. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was arguably the best part of Batman v Superman, so expectations were high for her solo film debut. And honestly, we loved it. The movie opens on Themyscira, the island home of the Amazons. Princess Diana wants to be a warrior to fight for peace and justice. Spy Steve Trevor accidentally stumbles onto the island. He tells them of the Great War, and Diana is compelled to go with him to help free man from the grip of Ares, the god of war. There are so many elements that came together to make this movie great. Even though it was structured as a typical origin story and fish out of water story, it still felt fresh. The movie gave us a couple of unforgettable scenes that are now iconic superhero movie moments. I still cannot watch this scene without being moved to tears. She can cross where no man can. Gal Gadot does a wonderful job playing the character. She is strong yet gentle, understanding yet stubborn, knowing yet still filled with wonder at the world of men. Her chemistry with Chris Pine is great. They are coy and flirty and unforgiving in their differences and beliefs. Their relationship felt so genuine.
Be careful in the world of men, Diana. They do not deserve you.
Truly, we don't deserve her, but I am sure glad we got this movie.
Number 2. Superman the movie. It says a lot that a film from the 70s is still the undisputed champion of Superman movies. The origin of the Man of Steel is told in this epic motion picture from director Richard Donner. It covers everything from the explosion of Krypton to Kal-El's time in Smallville as Clark Kent, all the way to his debut as Superman in Metropolis and battles with Lex Luthor. This is still the definitive version of this character. I think as time has gone on, it's apparent that we may never get a better Superman than Christopher Reeve. He's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Superman, and it's like that for people older than me and younger than me. He's transcended generations to be known as the one true Man of Tomorrow. His fantastic dual performance as the confident, robust defender from another planet and the goofy, bumbling reporter cannot be understated. He made us believe they were two different characters. More importantly, he made us believe a man could fly. None of that is on display more than in his first go-around as Superman. The set designs and general look of Krypton have become iconic, from the crystal Superman uses to speak to his long-deceased father to the Fortress of Solitude itself. This film contributed much more to the Superman mythos than just the best interpretation of a live-action Man of Steel. There's an intangible magic to this movie that makes any of its flaws instantly forgivable. It's something that just cannot be recreated nowadays for whatever reason. Don't get me wrong, I wish we could find the balance to tell a faithful Superman story with this type of tone modernized, but it just may not be possible. Bryan Singer tried and failed with Superman Returns, and the DCEU's version has divided audiences at best. Maybe that's what makes this movie so special and why it's so important. Its legacy needs to live on. For as long as we have this film, we need not look up in the sky, because with just a few notes of John Williams' masterful score or a playful wink from Reeves' Clark Kent, the true spirit of Superman will always be close by.
And the number 1 best DC movie is The Dark Knight. Yeah, that's right. Another Batman. Ugh. Since Batman has been on the streets of Gotham, crime has gone down sharply. As Police Lieutenant Jim Gordon and District Attorney Harvey Dent continue to round up the bigger crime bosses, a new class of criminals starts to gain traction. The Joker is something Batman has never dealt with before. This agent of chaos turns the city's plans for salvation on their head and aims to show everyone the only sensible way to live in this world is without rules. Knowing he couldn't touch what Jack Nicholson had previously accomplished, Heath Ledger's original casting announcement was not widely accepted. But what we were left with was the pinnacle of performances. For this darker Nolan world, they sensibly changed the Joker's classic clown caricature to this darker imperfection that sweated over his scarred lips and lines to remind us the Joker is not a monster, but a man of flesh and blood, still capable of so many horrors. Yet another costume that was the icing on the character's cake. Hello, nurse. Ledger's performance is well remembered, from the unique choice of mannerisms like darting his tongue to that laugh. But the writing also fostered a sense of mystery with the ever-changing explanation of his past. He was everything you could want from a villain that chills you to your core. A Joker that truly was chaos, for chaos' sake.
I need to give a shout out to how amazing Aaron Eckhart was as Harvey Dent in this movie. Because Ledger was so extraordinary, I think Eckhart was very underappreciated. His fall from White Knight to total darkness is handled very well. When I first saw this film, I thought the climax was a tad rushed since it seemed tailor-made as a setup for the third film with Two-Face as the main villain. We didn't get that, but if we did, I think this version of the character would have perhaps received the recognition he so deserved. This week on my personal channel, it's the best of DC versus the best of Marvel. That's right, Logan versus The Dark Knight. Also, my review of the recently released 3-hour cut of Superman the movie will go up later this week, so check it all out for more comic book movie content.
We want to hear what you guys think.
What's your favorite DC movie? What do you want to see us cover next on the show? Leave us a comment and let us know.
You can like my Facebook page or follow along on Twitter to keep in touch.
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, where I stream on Wednesday nights.
And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
We'll see you next week on a brand new episode of Top 5.
Enjoy the good times while they last, you confounded counters. Soon you'll be too terrified to even look in a mirror.